Hello students, welcome to the next topic, that is from the thermal methods of analysis, differential scanning calorimetry. In a previous video of thermal method analysis 2 series, we have discussed the differential thermal analysis, where we have discussed that whatever the difference in the temperature was there, that is to be recorded as a function of time or the temperature. Here in case of DSC, that is called differential scanning calorimetry, here we are going to compare the difference in the energy to that of the temperature. DSC is a technique for measuring the energy necessary to establish a nearly zero temperature difference between a substance and a reference material, that is recorded as a function of temperature or time when both are heated or cooled at a predetermined rate. इसके पहले जो हमने DTA देखा था, वहाँ हमने देखा था कि जो भी डिफरेंस था दो टेम्परेचर के बीच में, वो डिफरेंस हमने कंसिडर किया था, दैट वाज डेल्टा टी. Here we have a delta E, that's the energy difference between the two conditions, whether it will be a delta H as a -1 or whether it's a delta H as a +1. So that delta H, whether that difference is either positive or negative, that is to be plotted on y-axis with respect to the temperature that is on the x-axis. The differential scanning calorimetry. The calorimetry means the study of heat transfer during the physical and chemical process. So the difference in the scanning of that particular reaction is nothing but their differential scanning calorimetry. And the calorimeter is the device which is used to measure the transfer of heat. If you want to discuss the principle is based on the sample and the reference that is maintained at same temperature. Even during a thermal event in the sample, the energy required to maintain zero temperature difference between the sample and the reference is measured. During a thermal event in the sample, the system will transfer heat to or from the sample pan to maintain the same temperature in reference and sample pans. This principle wants to highlight that if whatever the sample we are going to take in a sample holder as a sample and reference in the reference holder, that whatever the decrease or increase in the temperature is there, to maintain that temperature some energy is required. Either it may, that energy may get increase or may get decrease. So on the basis of increase or decrease in the energy, we are going to calculate that delta E, and that delta E is to be plotted versus the temperature or the time, and that's nothing but the basis involved in the principle of differential scanning calorimetry. That's nothing but the DSC. Let's see what exactly DSC curves or DSC thermogram says. As the same as of DTA, we have the DSC thermogram, but it is just opposite to that of the DTA. In case of DTA, we have seen that whatever the curve we observed towards the bottom line, that was the endothermic change during the reaction. But here you can see that the endothermic change in the reaction is on top of, or it is in the form of peak of the graph. Just see, you can see in the figure on right hand side the DSC thermogram, where on x-axis temperature is to be plotted versus y-axis, that's the differential power or delta E, or nothing but the change in the energy or difference in the energy. Let's start with the straight line where the change in the specific heat occurs with respect to the change in temperature. At initially you can see there is an endothermic change. So here the endothermic change basically in case of DTA, we have seen that if endothermic reaction occurs, it means in case of endothermic reaction in DTA, what we have seen that whatever the heat that is to be absorbed by the sample, and that's nothing but the endothermic reaction was there. So absorbed by the sample means there is a decrease in the energy will take place or heat reduces. But here here the endothermic change in the graph shown the increase in the energy. So that increase in the energy in the DSC is just because of whatever the signal produced by the sensor to that of the programmer, or to the heat transfer, or to the heater, that there is a change in energy, or there is a decrease in the energy because of endothermic change. So we have that heater has to provide that temperature to the particular system. So because of providing the temperature to that system, that temperature is given to the system. That's why the endothermic change occurs on the as a peak, or on the above that particular graph. So, as earlier also we discussed, in general endothermic reaction due to heat flows or absorbed into the sample on a DSC, that may occur because of maybe dissolution or melting or glass transition, and maybe because of the decomposition. तो एक तो डिसॉल्वेशन की वजह से आपका एंडोथर्मिक रिएक्शन हो सकता है. यहाँ पे जो भी एंडोथर्मिक रिएक्शन होता है तो हम लोग बोल सकते हैं कि उसमें एक तो डिसॉल्वेशन हुआ है, या उसका मेल्टिंग हुआ है सैंपल का, या फिर उसमें ग्लास ट्रांजिशन या डिकम्पोजिशन हुआ है. Then the same way with the exothermic change. Here exothermic change, where we have you can see the graph is at the bottom, is to be observed in case of DSC, which is just opposite to that of your DTA. We have discussed in case of DTA that exothermic change, the graph or the peak of exothermic change was on the top of the baseline, but here is just below the baseline. That's exothermic change occurs, and that is just due to the heat flows or heat produce or heat release to the system, that is by the sample. And it mostly happens because either of the crystallization, yeah, curing, or the reaction, और सॉरी केमिकल रिएक्शन और द ऑक्सीडेशन. तो जो भी एक्सोथर्मिक रिएक्शन मिलेगा जो वो किसके वजह से मिलेगा, एक तो हो सकता है कि क्रिस्टलाइजेशन की वजह से हो, या फिर केमिकल रिएक्शन की वजह से हो, दैट इज़ और क्यूरिंग रिएक्शन की वजह से हो, या फिर ऑक्सीडेशन की वजह से हो सकता है. सो दिस इज़ अबाउट द DSC कर्व. नेक्स्ट DSC इंस्ट्रूमेंटेशन. Onto the right of the DSC instrumentation instrument, we can see there is a sample holder, there is a reference and sample holder, there is an amplifier, there is a programmer, there is a recorder, as well as the sensor have been attached over there. So DSC basically is of two types. दो टाइप है DSC के. फर्स्ट इज द हीट फ्लक्स DSC, एंड सेकंड वन इज योर power compensation DSC. You can see that in case of heat flux DSC, the sample may be made up of aluminum or the stainless steel. Sensor are just attached to the samples, to the reference holder, also to the reference holder. Then furnace. The difference between the heat flux DSC and the power compensation DSC is of their furnace. You can see in the figure mentioned on the right hand side, that's the above figure, where you can see that the only one furnace or the sample and reference have been kept in the single furnace, and where is only one thermocouple is there attached over there. But in case of the figure given below, where you can clearly see that there is a separate furnace for sample pan as well as to the reference pans, with two different thermocouple attached to that, and we have the individual heaters attached to the different furnaces as well as the sample and the reference holder. The temperature controller, if you see in case of the heat flux DSC, temperature difference between the sample and reference is measured by the temperature controller. Here onto the figure, that's the block diagram of DSC instrument. Here you can see that there are left hand side as well as onto the right hand side. Onto the left hand side, that is the differential temperature control circuit. We have differential control circuit on left hand side of your block diagram. On right hand side, we have average temperature control circuit. Whatever the average temperature control circuit, that circuit mostly consists of the temperature which is already set by the programmer. But opposite to that, in case of differential temperature control circuit, which is depends on the signal produced by the change in delta H or the change in energy of that respective system by the sample or to the reference. Second type, that is the power compensation DSC. Sample holder is again same as aluminum or maybe of platinum pans. Sensors, platinum resistant thermocouple, separate sensors and heaters for the sample and reference. So we have two different sensors for reference as well as sample have been attached in case of power compensation DSC. Furnace, as earlier explained, that separate blocks have been made for sample as well as the reference cell. Temperature controllers supply the differential thermal power to the heaters to maintain the temperature of the sample and reference at the program value. So we have different temperature controller also mentioned over there. That's all about the types of DXC, that is the heat flux DSC and your power compensation DSC. In case of factors affecting DSC, the first, that's the instrumental factors, where we have size and shape of the sample and furnace holder. To be very clear, it is the size and shape of the sample and furnace holder, not a sample on furnace. सैम्पल और रेफरेंस मटेरियल का साइज एंड शेप नहीं, यहाँ पे साइज एंड शेप हम लोग होल्डर, सैम्पल होल्डर का। सो बेसिकली जो भी साइज़ है सैम्पल होल्डर का या फिर आपका शेप है जो सैम्पल और रेफरेंस होल्डर का है, बेसिकली वी यूज़ दी थिन फिल्म, डिस्क फिल्म ओवर देयर, एंड their size also matters a lot. Basically it should be so flat film is to be prepared over there. The second thing is that's the heating rate, that's the furnace heating rate. Here we are talking about it mostly in the degree Celsius. The right heating rate is of 10 degrees Celsius per minute, mostly a preferable one. Faster the rate, there will be increase in the sensitivity, but there will be a decrease in the resolution may takes place. So it is always be a control heating rate should be the part of system. Next you can see that the wire and beam size of the thermocouple junction. Earlierly in case of DTA also we discussed it should be a thin wire. If it is a thick wire, then there may be a fluctuation in the actual readings provided by the sensor to that of the recorder may take place. Then the position of the thermocouple in the sample and the reference chamber. We have also discussed this in case of DTA. There are three positions, either near to the sample holder or into the sample holder or into the sample. These are the three positions mostly preferred on the basis of material and the material used in the sample holder as well as the material of the thermocouple and their compatibility. Next is the sample characteristics. In case of sample characteristics, the very first factor, that's the amount of the sample that is to be taken. So amount of sample weight, mostly the sample weight should be as minimum as possible. Ideally it should be a 0.5 to 10 milligram is usually sufficient sample for enable the faster scanning procedure. Next is the particle size of the sample. Particle size of the sample. So particle size, they have mentioned that it should be again 0.5 to 10 milligram. Sorry, that sample size is 0.5 to 10 milligram and amount of the sample should be as lesser as possible. Then the packing density, that's the compactness. The sample should not be more compact, so there should be the chances of the getting the fluctuation in the resolution may takes place. That is just because of the compactness of the material. So it should be a loosely packed one. Why there is need to why to use the DSC? हमको DSC की ज़रूरत क्या है, क्यों हमको DSC करना है? तो DSC इसलिए हमको करना है कि मटेरियल को अगर कैरेक्टराइज करना है स्पेशली इन द फॉर्म ऑफ मेल्टिंग पॉइंट या क्रिस्टलाइजेशन और एंथैल्पी, तो DSC से अच्छी प्रोसीजर और हो ही नहीं सकती. द DSC इज़ द बेस्ट मेथड टू गो फॉर द मेल्टिंग पॉइंट determination, crystallization of individual compound as well as the enthalpy information. Then second thing is that if we want to measure the glass transition, then we can go for the DSC. Thermostability can be better expressed by the DSC. The chemical reactions or the curing reactions can also be very well defined by the DSC. We can easily identify the kinetics, can study the kinetics very well with the help of DSC in case where the chemical reactions with the shelf life or the stability of the compound can be easily determined. To find out the polymorphism, we can prefer the DSC. To identify the purity of the compound, purity of the intermediate, DSC is the best method to go for. Screening of material for safety studies can also be done by the DSC. Let's see the application. Application is just as the need of the DSC. Purity we can determine with the help of sample. Detection of polymorphism can also be done. Quantification of polymers can also be done with the DSC. Detection of metastable polymers is also important application for DSC. Detection of isomerism, stability compatibility study, lyophilization studies, lipid protein determination, amorphous content in the excipients, as well as the choosing better solvent. These are the fewer applications of the DSC. Here we can compare the DSC as well as the DTA on the basis of their various factors. If we compare with the size of the sample, in case of DSC we require very minimum sample size compared to DTA, that's a 2 to 10 rather than 20 to 50 milligram in DTA. Then sensitivity of the measurement, if you talk on, very few joule per mole is to be determined by the DSC, or is very sensitive towards the measurement in the form of energy. A smallest few joule can be easily determined by the DSC, but for DTA it should be in the kilojoule, that is 0.5 kilojoule per mole. Heating and cooling cycles, it is well programmed heating and cooling possible in case of DSC, but only program heating is possible in case of DTA. Cooling should be done separately. Second order phase transition, it can be observed with sample that is of 200 milligram, and it is not possible in case of, or not observed in case of DTA. Specific heat measurement, if you talk on, it is very accurate in case of DSC, but it is less or not accurate in case of the DTA. So this is all about the differential scanning calorimetry. Hope you understand the topic. Thank you very much.